Hey everyone, this is Neil with Wasted Paper here, and I'm actually going to be bringing you a new first time kind of video for my channel. This is my currently inked. I see these videos all the time and I'm going to try to branch out a little bit more, so we're going to start with a currently inked video. I have quite a few pens here. Because I do reviews and stuff, I kind of take a while before I clean them all out, but I do regularly try to swap around my pen and what I'm using. So let's get straight into this. For starters, the paper we're going to be using is my B7 Tran-X notebook from Blake's Broadcast, and this leather cover is from Long Road Leather. I'm going to use this to showcase the inks and every pen. First pen I have for you is from a recent video, which I hope you all watched, and that is on my Cypress collaboration with Endless Pens and Cypress, obviously. This was just such a gorgeous pen, and obviously extremely expensive. It's a gift to just have the pen itself. It's one that I just had to keep inked. Since I did that video, I haven't taken the ink out of this yet. I've been using it. It's just such a nice experience, and it just feels so luxurious to have a pen like this. The ink I currently have in here is still Diamine Oxblood. It was just such a good color for the pen. It just fits the aesthetic of it so well. The nib I have in here is a 14 karat broad version. Next up after that, we also have this right here. This is a Wancher pen. This is a Sakura one that I did a review on previously this year, and I actually have a different nib in here. I have a nib where I'm testing my logo. Super exciting. I'm hoping to bring these out in the near future. It'll be a little different. This was one of the first samples. And I really like the body of this pen. It's very simple, it's clean, and it's got, you know, a really nice, affordable urushi. So, you know, it seems like a great pen to really test your nib on. I could put this in whatever. And I was like, let's use something really classy. Hope I'm spelling the ink correctly. It's the Pilot Shizuku Take Sumi, I believe is the color I have in here. I don't really keep super good track when it's a pen I'm trying to just test. Oh man, did I scribble on that one. This is such a different angle to be recording while writing as well. Now we have my big case right here. This brand is called Nutsack. Get your jokes out of the way now. They were one of the first people I ever got an affiliate with, and one of the best companies that have been so inviting to me. And they gave me this right here. They were just, I don't have words. Such an amazing brand. You should check them out if you're looking for like a durable kind of case. This is a waxed canvas, and I just like the rugged look of it. Really nice zippers on here, and the interior fits a lot of pens. This is actually not made for pens. It just happens to work really well with them. I also have a 2 pen sleeve on the inside of here from Rickshaw. It just fits perfectly and lets me fit as much pens in here comfortably and nothing's getting hurt as I want. Really like this. First pen from this is like one of my Grell Leonardos. This material is called Skeleton, and I believe it's some kind of celluloid acetate. It's not something that Leonardo releases in regular runs, but they did it for this. And my version of it has a fine titanium nib, number 8, and a red ebonite feed. The ink I'm using in this is Moulin Rouge from J. Herbon. It's a fairly dark red, but it's got a really nice pop of red to it versus like the Oxblood that clearly goes very dark. This still has a nice saturation to it. I don't know how people keep track of all of these as they do it. Next, I have one that I reviewed recently as well. This is my metal Leonardo. I've continued to use this. This is called the Illumina, and I still have the same orange ink in it that I had when I reviewed the pen. Big fan of that pen. If you didn't watch my review, it's really nice to have something new when it comes to Leonardo, and I really enjoy that one. I'm already mixing stuff up, so the Illumina is clearly the model, and then the color is the Leonardo orange ink they just came out with recently. On to the next pen, we have the Minerva. This one you haven't seen on the channel in quite a while. This was the first release from this brand, and something special on my version of it is I got number 00 out of 25. They released this with Fountain Pen Hospital exclusively at, I don't remember what pen show. I wanna say it was the California Pen Show at the beginning of the year. And I wasn't there or anything, but I saw the video. I really thought the pen looked nice. I ordered it online, and I've been really happy with this pen. It's been honestly really, really good. The ink I have in this is Blue Octopus from Andarillium. It's an extremely wet ink, but the blue shade goes really well with this pen. And I think when I first reviewed this, I used the same ink. I've used a few different ones since because I've actually kept this pen inked for a while. I'm just a big fan of it. So far, it's not let me down one single time. And the nib I have on this one is a medium. It is a 14 karat gold nib as well. I am not an ebonite person, and this one just stuck out to me. It's such a nice shade and color of ebonite with really good contrasting colors. None of this blends. The like cream color and blue just look really good together. Next up, we have a Lamy Studio. I will always have one of these pens in rotation. I love the Lamy Studio. It is by far my favorite Lamy pen, and it's actually one of my favorite pens in general. I stand behind this pen, the design, the aesthetic, everything about it I'm a big fan of. And at the DC Pen Show, I actually got a custom grind on mine. This is made into an Architect at a very high angle because that's how I write, and I just love it. I believe this colorway was olive. If I'm wrong, I will put the correct one in the video after. But I just love this pen. It's so nice. I keep mixing up which line should be what, where it's the model than the color. I believe the ink I have in this one right now is green from Diplomat. I ordered a bunch of their inks recently to check out, and this was probably my next favorite one from the order I placed. I bought another bottle of my Lilac, which if you're not familiar with my channel, is by far my favorite ink. This is a medium 14K nib, I hope I spelled that right, Jesus. Next up, we have an absolute grail. This was the Memento Zero Grande Mother of Pearl. Fun story with this one is I actually watched Kenshin Crafts, who has this pen, and he was the one that kind of first showed it to me in a video, not in person. And I was infatuated immediately. I knew I needed one of these. I thought I would never get one. I had been posting on Pen Swap so many times trying to get someone to sell me the pen or hit me up and see if they would part with it. And finally, I was able to find someone, and it's so ironic when I found someone. What it was is I was in the hospital. This was after my wife gave birth, and someone messaged me on Instagram saying, "Hey, I heard you were looking for this pen." And I was like, no way right now this is happening. Thankfully, it was all after the delivery. We were just still staying at the hospital, and I had to ask my wife, like, listen, that's not a cheap pen. I believe this pen goes for like $500 retail, so buying it resell, you can only imagine. But I got the option to get it. I asked my wife. Once she woke up, I did not wake her up. I did not want to risk that. And the answer was yes, we're celebrating. So I now have one of my Grail pens. I would love this in the rose gold trim, to be honest with you, but getting it at all was too hard not to get. So I did it, and I have the silver trim as you can see here. The ink I have in this is Elf's Cap. This is by Robert Oster. It is my favorite green ink by far. I use it more than any. I actually own a few bottles of it. What happened that was funny is I bought a few bottles thinking that this was a seasonal color and it wasn't gonna come back, and you can still find it in stock in places. So I kind of overreacted, but I really like this green and I don't regret it at all. This is a fine 14K nib. I've thought about getting a custom grind on one of these, but I hate the idea of changing my Leonardos. I like them so much how they are. Next up, we have a Radius pen, which is a brand nobody talks about. This was the purple swirl colorway. Endless Pens gave me this pen, I don't even know how long ago now. It was to make a comparison video with a Leonardo and a Radius. And I already owned the yellow Soul Radius, but this purple colorway was coming out with this like rose gold trim, and I was like, oh my God, that's the one. So I got this pen and I really love it. I think Radius is a brand that people are sleeping on. And it's probably partially Leonardo's fault as well. If you don't know, they own them and they don't market them enough. They really don't push them, but I think Radius has a lot of good things going for them. In this pen, I have the ink I was just previously talking about. That would be Diplomat Lilac. By far my favorite ink. I always have a pen inked up with this. I just love it so much. And in this pen, I have a medium nib, and it is steel, just for anyone wondering. Radius does offer gold nibs, but that is only in their superior model, which I haven't checked out yet. Hopefully I will get one of those in the future. And now we are on to my final two pens that are inked. It's these two right here. I did a video on the Dusk from Kilk forever ago. This was an Endless Pens collab with Pens in Turquoise Brown. I fell in love with this pen. This is actually the pen that made me like Endless Pens and Hatch, and I say made me even aware of. Once this pen came out, I saw it and I wanted it so bad. It was sold out, and I was able to get it on the restock, the second restock they did, because this pen has been restocked 3 times now, and I just loved it. I needed it, and on mine, right here, I have a double broad that I got ground into a high architect like my Lamy Studio earlier. It is by far the best writer I have. It is crazy. For a steel nib like this, I got it ground by Matthew Chen, and it's just amazing. In this currently, I have Pilot Blue. I have just a basic ink in here, nothing too crazy with the ink. I wanted to keep it very simple, and it's just a solid blue. I really love Konpeki, but I'm trying to branch out, and so far, I'll be honest, nothing's as good. And it's just amazing. This is a steel nib as well. And the reason I have 2 of these is I couldn't help myself. Listen, when I was at the Orlando Pen Show, I was helping Endless Pens again at their booth, and they just got another restock of this pen, and look at it. This was mine. I love mine, but look at this. They had these new ones that had these white bottoms, and when I could see them in person and pick one out, I was like, dude, I might actually buy a second one of that pen. I think I've only ever bought 2 of one pen when we're talking the same exact colorway one other time. I just don't do that. It doesn't make sense. But this one was so unique. I loved this white bottom on here. What a looker. Because of that, I went with a double broad again, and Matthew Chen was there again. I wanted to change it up because if I'm gonna buy the same pen twice, I gotta have something a little different. So on this one, I actually have a cursive italic, which was the first time I have ever used a cursive italic. For my angle of writing and how this feels, it's a little bit sharp for me, but he let me write with it in person, obviously, and you know, when you're there with an actual nib meister, if you will, you can actually test it a bit and kind of cater it a little bit more your angle and your way, which helps a ton. So I get really nice line variation. It's got a bit of a scratch feel to it, but not in a bad way. It's like a good sensation. And the ink I have in here, I'm gonna spell this wrong, I am sure. It's turquoise, and I believe it says day, I think it's Paris. I'm surely not saying it correctly, but I at least hope I'm spelling it correctly. This is a ink from J. Herbon. It is one of the only shimmer inks I use, and it's because, I mean, it matches this pen to a T. It might not look like it here, but I promise you in person, you look at this, it's crazy. The match is just so good. And then on this one, again, I have a cursive italic, and this was made from a double broad. There is not many pens that can convince me to buy a second version, and this, I just couldn't help it. I love this pen. It is so good. It is the best Kilk ever made. And listen, I love my collaborations with Endless Pens. I still stand on this one. This did everything for me. It opened my eyes to what could be done. I have so much respect for this pen. And as a sneak peek for everyone that stayed around, I'm also gonna show you these 2 pens right here. Obviously, this is the Cheshire. For anyone that's not familiar with this, I would say this has been my most polarizing design. I put so much into it, but the amount of people that have been nice and telling me how much they enjoy the pen has been amazing. I don't take any of that for granted. I have a different nib in here and a different ink, which I'll show you in just a moment. And then this right here, again, is gonna be a custom grind pen. So let's just get straight into these 2. So for this, I actually put a Gravitas nib in here, not because I like it better, but because I wanted to try just different nibs. I've actually put maybe about 5 nibs in this pen at this point until I find the one that is exactly what I want for like everyday writing. The ink I have in here right now is an unreleased ink, so you will be the first to see it. I don't want to spoil what it's called yet because it's not out. This is a collaboration I'm working on. I just want people to get a little bit of a teaser now for being here. And the nib I have in here right now is a Gravitas nib, and it says it's a fine. To me, this is very close to an extra fine. Be on the lookout for this ink. It's coming. I just don't want to tell you when or anything else about it. And then the last pen I have for you that sits on my desk right now is a Diplomat Viper. I reviewed the Blue Viper a long time ago, literally the day it came out, and that has been one of my most successful videos to date. Thank you to everyone that's watched that. I also want to pose the question, if you watch my channel because of that video, you know, give me a shout out down below. That would be awesome. I'd love to hear that. That being said, What's special about this one is I have a custom grind on here. This is a high architect. Again, I decided to see if it was possible because it's a hooded nib, and I literally took it to Matthew in person back in San Francisco. And I just asked him, I'm like, is it possible to do a grind on this? I don't know why it wouldn't be, but can you? And he did it. It's a bit different than the Dusk versions, I will tell you. It's not the same as that, and even compared to the Lamy. The current Diplomat Viper only comes in one nib size, which is a fine medium. It's a great nib size. I don't have any complaints about that, but I like a little bit of variety. And again, I own the blue one, so if I was gonna get another one, I was like, we're gonna have to change it up a little bit and do a custom grind or do something to make it different to justify the purchase. This is another unreleased ink. It's not mine this time. This is actually someone else's. It just looked so good. Honestly, I'm not a big brown ink person, and I thought this one just looked killer. The like shading and separating that it does is similar to your like Nekio Nagi and stuff like that from Sailor. It's such a unique look on it. And then for grind, we're gonna put HA again for a high architect, and this was made from a fine medium. Obviously, there's only that option. So there's not too much to say there. I really do like the Viper, and I hold it in high regards because it really is a pen that helped my channel grow so much. So when this new color came out, I just kind of said, you know, I owe it to Diplomat and them for just helping me grow. Obviously, it happened indirectly. They have no awareness of it. I wish I could actually meet them and talk to them. But either way, it's a pen that I felt like I owed it to them to buy another one, and I did a custom grind, and it's a cool pen. So that's gonna be all of the pens I have inked right now. This was my first time doing this kind of video. Let me know if you wanna see more content like this. It's a little bit sloppy, and I'm sorry about that. I, again, am learning the nuances of doing different styles of videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and maybe this close-up will kind of give you some clarity of the pens I use on the regular, the ink I used, and I'm well aware this is a lot of pens at once. Do not judge me. The thing is, after I review a pen, if I like it, I just don't take the ink out of it then and there. I wait till I have a bunch, so I end up with quite a few pens. On average, I've pushed myself, I swear I've tried, to get down to using only about like 4 or 5 pens at a time inked. But the problem is, I really like to have a dark color and a light color and a blue and a green, and I gotta have my Diplomat Lilac. And then it's just like this orange came out, it's really good. I have a million excuses. I gotta have one shimmer ink. These are all custom grinds, so I wanna try them, you know? It's just the part of being a collector, and I hope everyone in this hobby kind of knows it too. It's hard to pick your favorite, and it's even harder to not just use stuff all the time. It's what I love about this hobby compared to any other hobby I've ever been in, is it's really easy to ink a pen. It makes it so accessible versus like when I did art, or I still have a ton of like comics I've collected. I can't just look at every single one of those at once, you know? It takes time to read a book. With pens, I can just ink it and keep it inked and just pick it up and use it when I want to use it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like this, just let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you for watching.